Well, it's been a long, long day with many games of Overwatch, and it seems we may have left the best for last, which will shock you if you've been watching, since we've had pretty good games non-stop. It is, of course, the Kiriko Cup. My name is Sun Phoenix. I'm joined once again by Fluffy. Welcome.
Hello. It's good to be back.
Very good to be back. It is the California girls taking on the COWZA, the whole of COWZA. Is that how that works?
I think they named themselves. I think they named themselves after a cow.
Seems that way.
They're
The local cow, the South African cow.
a cow. Yeah.
Although, look, you're the lawyer out of the two of us. Is there a trademark infringement here? Something that we should be pursuing?
No, because cow is a general term. I don't think you can trademark cow.
Agree to disagree. Agree to
Okay.
disagree. Let's take a look at the California girls roster quickly. It is BTS fan, aka Babs, who we should all be familiar with, of course. His best Genji, I'd say, Fluffy, is gave it away. His best hero is definitely the Genji, I would say, without a doubt. And so he has been thriving in the meta we've been seeing in the Kiriko Cup so far. Apricornicus, who is a player who does things, also on the DPS. Alvin Slayer, of course, a former OG player, playing the tank role here. Known for his off tank, so kind of sliding on over to the main tank. And then Restio-san and Damien. Damien and Restio-san, both players who have done things, I'm aware.
Yeah. On the other end, on the Cowsa, we have a new player in the form of, well, a new player to COWZA at the very least, in the form of Scorpion playing the tank role. Then we have Ergo, who we've heard good things about, also another new face, on the 1 DPS role. We have some old names in Quacha and Wallace. Quacha playing, or Knoppy's in-game, playing DPS, and Wallace playing support, another one of those Reddit Lucios that we know all too well. And then finishing out the roster on sport is Hobo Parker, another player who's been around a while on a couple of teams.
Yes, Hobo Parker, a player associated with the Mercy, so we might be seeing a lot of pharmacy.
Yeah.
Now, you said, this is a fact, a real fact that I did not know, that Knoppy's is like super cracked at Counter-Strike.
He is for some reason decided that main tank was his calling, but
I don't
in
understand.
CS,
If
he
I
is a
could click head,
CSGO,
never do
yeah.
anything else in any game.
He is a CSGO warrior. So maybe we'll see a little bit of Widowmaker from him today if he's in that kind of mood.
That's an exciting prospect. Now, both of these two teams have been doing a pretty stellar job thus far. I think maybe our two strongest teams that we've seen.
Maybe.
We haven't seen them, obviously, but in terms of results, they've been performing extremely well. Now, the COWZA have just come off the back of a 3-2 victory over the frontline fighters, thank you, who have been the strongest team we've seen so far, maybe. So that's an exciting prospect. And California Girls are one of those teams we kind of mentioned earlier, where they're one of the teams that are super, super balanced. So a lot of very average players, ranking-wise, that kind of come together to make some of the strongest teams.
They've been doing very well. Obviously, we haven't casted the California Girls yet, but what we've from hearing, Apricornicus on DPS, Babs on DPS, they've been doing really well. Elven Slayer's been performing really, really well as well. The California Girls have been undeniable. They've been performing exceptionally well.
Nice. Sorry, I'm shell shocked. That was a stun grenade that time right. Now, we are just waiting to get started here. I'm not sure what the delay is, but it is going to be... Okay, I'm ready to go, yeah. It is Busan up first. So this is a map we've been seeing a lot. I think we've seen it in every series now, pretty much.
I think so, maybe with the exception of the previous series. No, we did see it there. It was the first map,
Yeah,
so
they
yeah.
started there.
A favorite, perhaps, of the players.
Now, we know that Babs is likely to be on that Genji pretty much end to end here. He's got a pretty scary Pharah as well, worth considering. Alvin Slayer, we know him, I would say, mostly for his Diva in that off-tank role.
And yeah, maybe his Sigma as well. He has had a very strong Sigma in the past.
Yes.
Although, obviously, we haven't seen him in the Overwatch 2 world, so we don't know how well he's adjusted to being the solo tank. Diva very strong currently, so we're likely to see him on that. Sigma quite situational, so perhaps we'll see a little bit of that maybe if we go to Circuit Royale. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Who knows? Maybe he is another Doomfist aficionado.
Maybe, or he'll bring out the Jungle Queen or some other garbage like that. Now, on the other side, we've got Knoppis, who was likely to be playing the hit scan DPS here. And Wallace will be on Lucio all the time. Hobo Parker, I expect to see a lot of Mercy, as I mentioned earlier. Ergoslavic and Scorpion are... What? Say again?
I've heard Wallace has been grinding a lot of Kiriko, so maybe we'll see the Wallace Kiriko.
That's one of them has to play Kiriko. That's a good point. It's a little reminder for you guys at home, and definitely not me who didn't forget that. Each team has to be running a Kiriko, as the name of the cup would suggest. So it's really going to be up to the other support player to flex around them, and it's going to be Hobo Parker on the Kiriko. So Wallace currently sitting on the Moira, but I imagine he might switch. And then we've got Damien on the other side, who was a DPS player before, if memory serves. So
yes,
on the Kiriko, that makes a lot of sense. Other Slayer on the Zarya, that's a hero we haven't been seeing much of, but now all of a sudden we've got 2 for the price of 1.
Yeah, Zarya is a very strong hero in the current iteration of the game. So it's it's odd that we haven't seen that much of her, but we're seeing the head-to-head now. And between these two players, I favor Elven Slayer in this head-to-head.
Well, given that we don't know anything about Scorpion, it's hard to say, but I think of Elven as quite a strong Zarya player under most circumstances. So wait and see. We've also got Knoppis here on the Tracer. That's an interesting pick. Going to do his best Assassin JDB impression. Of course, a former teammate of Assassins, if memory serves. And we'll see what they can do here. I was just playing neither Zarya finding value just yet, but Elven Slayer, he gets that zero charge. Yeah, 0 charge kill on Ergoslavic, so he may be overextended there, as now they look to push forward and secure this point. Neither team opting to secure the point. You said they want to get kills and just secure the team fight victory, which makes a lot of sense, as Wallace does end up taking down BTS Fan. Maybe the Moira just to pick to counter the Genji here, but not working so far, at least not right now.
Yeah, it's a well-played fight. You're saying, as you pointed out, they're winning the fight and then dealing with point. That's perfectly acceptable. The Moira, as you point out, is a bit of an interesting comp. Oh, that's a good kill onto the Zarya. Yeah, that's very nice. Important. If they keep picking off the Zarya early, it's going to be very one-sided.
It is indeed, and 52% ult charge now for Elven Slayer, working his way towards that, already with an advantage there. Of course, when you win the team fight, you look a lot better as a Zarya, and it's really hard to play Genji to Zarya as well. If you step out of position for just 1 second, there's nothing you can do to stop the Zarya from just melting you down, but damage coming over the top here. Ergo needs to be careful, as you can see the tracking there. Restio-san will pick up the kill, and that's looking pretty tough here for California Girls. As the COWZA just kind of forced them back.
Yeah, so we're seeing an engagement here on the call, but they're in such a bad situation. They're already down 2.
Oh yeah, teams are a long way around at the top. Apologies about that. It is currently the California Girls are in control. So Zarya grab at the ready. This is going to be a really tough push here, but it's only 50% on the clock. That's the one downside of not capping point early.
Yes, true. That is a silver lining that the cows have in that they do have some time and they do have big ults coming up. But on the other hand, California Girls have their grab, they have their Kitsune Rush, and they're about to have their Nano
There's
Blade.
the grab pop down now. Is the damage through there? Yes, it is. Immediately Ergoslavic dropping once again. Zarya very low, will get taken down as Restio-san and the boys and girls push on forward here. Scorpion dead. BTS Fan down. It's an even fight at the moment, but no tank on one side. They're going to pop the high noon here. Genji? Okay, sorry, that wasn't Genji, that was Knoppis getting aggressive there, and looks like they're under pressure here once again. Pick off the pick going both ways. Point is being flipped here as Elven Slayer comes back to the fight. It is flipped, so advantage all of a sudden the COWZA. Can they secure the teamfight win? That's another question entirely here. They do have beat in the form of Restio-san, as we can see here, and they can push forward. Here comes the grab though. Beat pop. Do they have the damage to push through it? That sounds like a blade. Yes, it is. Ergoslavic struggling to put the damage down. It does get taken down by Damien. That DPS prowess coming in handy there as he picks off the Dragon Blade, and Genji BTS comes in with a Dragon Blade of his own. The point will be flipped, and likely the match will too.
Yeah, what we're seeing, ironically, the cows are a bit hot and then cold. They're going in and having good value, but then they're also losing people constantly. They're getting picked. And the one time you think maybe they have an advantage, they pick off that Zarya, a massive pick off, and then they just can't capitalize on it, and they come back and use the grabs and win the fight. The California Girls, that is. It's moving forward. We really want to see the Cows show up and not be picked off like that. They lost people too early and too late. They want to all die closer together.
Yeah, that's kind of that discipline that sometimes you lack in Park-style tournaments like this, where everyone's kind of meeting each other for the first time and the discipline isn't quite there. So we'll have to see if they can clean that up. Worth noting that they've just came off a really long series and going straight into another one here, so there might be a little bit of a fatigue issue going on here, but we'll have to wait and see if that ends up being relevant, as you see Alvin Slayer and the team here getting aggressive very early. Yeah, Genji's having a tough time putting down the damage here as Knoppy's under pressure. He did pick the Widow, but BTS fan immediately just putting under so much pressure. He needs to get back here, needs to not go down, and he does not. So very aggressive maneuvers from the California Girls here, but it's working out perfectly.
Yeah, we might see like Knoppy's is a very good Widowmaker, but that pressure of the Genji and the Tracer might be enough to force him to swap. Remains to be seen. He is looking for the flank here, looking for a pick.
Yeah, he does find one straight away. Apricornicus, where did he come from? He was aiming for somebody totally different, it feels like, and gonna have to back up now under pressure, but not finding anything just yet. Alvin Slayer kind of decently charged here, and there we go. We see BTS fan finding Ergoslavic. Where is Knoppy? He's in the mix with his team, looking for damage, but not finding anything just yet as they continue to be forced back here on the side of the COWZA. It seems like they just don't have the damage to push through. That's one hit. Genji getting aggressive here. Okay, relax, dude. Almost gets him down. Eventually, he does get taken down by Hobo Parker, so 84% on the ultimate here, but the grab comes the other way first. Can they get the damage down? The more you're doing so much healing, the Coalescence coming out as well. Nobody dies in the grab. In fact, Alvin Slayer pressed grab to die as they managed to push through, and that's the strength of the Moira there. So much healing just from her normal abilities.
Yeah, what we're seeing there is a really interesting matchup between the two Zaryas, because while it felt like Alvin Slayer didn't have enough energy to really match up there, Scorpion used his bubbles well and he got the energy. And honestly, it's difficult in these Zarya matchups. You want to be going into fights with high energy, and the Zarya dying puts the team under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, absolutely it does. And Scorpion now up with that ultimate as well, so that's another advantage they got going into this team fight. The bomb goes through, doesn't find anything other than some charge for Scorpion here. Apricornicus struggling to find value on the Trace a little bit, at least in this team fight. Scorpion will be looking for an opportunity to use his ultimate, and this might be it. He needs to be careful not to get it reflected, but there it is. That's a nice ultimate on the top there. It only finds one, forces out the beat though, so neither Graviton Surge finding much value as BTS fan picks up one in the back. Two heroes so low in the backline, but not getting taken down. But finally, Ergoslavic will pop the blade here, getting aggressive, and after such a bad start, he's finding value on the with the Dragon Blade. No kills anymore though, but now they're forcing back Alvin Slayer. Gonna burn through the bubble. Can they find the kill? Yes, they can. Can they find another? Yes, they can. Scorpion picks up 2 at the end of that.
That was really well played. It was a really good grab onto the Zarya. Honestly, solo grabbing the enemy Zarya is a really, really good strategy. Unfortunately, they just couldn't actually kill that Zarya. And then the drawn out fight and the blade comes out. A great blade by Ergo saving. We're seeing the visor now, and again, this rotation from the side. They have swapped off of the Zarya now. There's no more Zarya head-to-head, which will be interesting.
Yeah, it will be indeed. Here comes the Dragon Blade. BTS fan on 1 HP. He finds 1 kill, 2 kills. Make it 3, 4. Everyone capitulating there, and that's going to be the point flip back towards California Girls. They are 1 up here. So, yeah, this could be good for them.
Very nearly dashed into the train there. It was almost a disaster. But that was a really good blade and a really good response. We're seeing an interesting swap now. Having Elven Slayer go over to the Wrecking Ball puts so much pressure onto Knoppy's, having the Tracer, the Genji, and the Wrecking Ball, that now we're going to see him go over to the Sombra. We're seeing a lot of that counterplay. We've seen this before earlier today, of teams counter-swapping. If he can find the ball, he does.
He does. Knoppy's now putting the ball under pressure here. A bit of damage getting put onto him, but there's action on the point here. Hobo Parker finds BTS fan. The other Genji's gone down as well, so even fight, but Damon solo. He gets taken down. They track him down. The Cows are now in firm control with this support healer extra now. Support healer extra? Yeah, you heard me as they to clean things up. They will get the flip, but there's still a Lucio in the mix here. Wallace, one of the best in the business, but sorry, that's not Wallace. That's Restio son. I'm having a bad time here, guys, but the Cowza are having a great time.
Yeah, you could say they're living a teenage dream. It's a big fight coming in. Good Suzu there, and they're at 99.
They are. Oh, nice pulse bomb there, but that gives Zarya more charge. 2 kills already for the COWZA. It looks pretty good for them to even up the map, but they'll have to clean it out here. They're going to do that. How many left? Just the minefield. That was a really good charge from Alvin Slayer. Nice play from him, but can he stay alive for long enough for his team to get back into this? He's already got 1 kill. Can he find any more? Oh, he knows the limits there. Overtime just barely not ticking down, but he will die. EMP over the top as a celebration as we head into the 3rd part of Busan.
Very close round. I think, personally, I would have preferred to see Elven Slayer stay on the Zarya. I think he was doing a lot of work on that, but I also think it's important for the head-to-head. Once Knoppies then swapped off the Widowmaker, the Zarya didn't really, the ball didn't really get to that much value, and we are going to see Elven Slayer swap back to that Zarya. So far, the only difference really we're seeing how the teams are playing is with the Lucio, that the California girls are playing far more aggressive. The COWZA are being more... They're soaking the pressure with that Moira, but you wonder how long they can do that for. Eventually, they're going to run out of healing.
Yeah, they will eventually. Unless, I suppose, Moira can get the damage in as well, kind of build that heal back up. But have to wait and see here. I like the Zarya versus Zarya battle. I think it's a really interesting thing to watch, kind of how the Zaryas use their bubbles. You could use them more defensively. You could use them to build charge and see, keep your Genji alive when he's in front of the rest of the team. But now, Apricornicus, Viva Valley here. That's a trade, but they've lost DPS on both sides. Genji low, nice job. Apricornicus finds that kill, but it's a 50-50 trade for the moment as both teams hemorrhaging players just a little bit here. Oh, the Zarya getting low. Alvin Slayer needs to be careful here. Has to back off, and that's a big charge on the Scorpion as he looks to closing out the COWZA, I think, with an advantage, but Apricornicus firing back, getting kills. Alvin Slayer dropping low, though, needs to be careful. Not to go down, and he gets tracked down by the Scorpion, who's been doing such a good job of finding kills in this team fight. They're going to cap the point now, and it's going to be advantage to the COWZA.
Yeah, I mean, as stand correct, Scorpion has done really, really well in the Zarya. He's really pulling his own weight, and he's keeping his charge, which is really good to see. The damage, the sheer damage Zarya can output when it's on 90 plus charge is ridiculous. Yeah,
we're seeing it here from Scorpion. Knoppies pumping in the damage, and look at that, 100 charge as he just moves forward and beams down. Nice tracking as well from Scorpion. He tracks down his opposite numbers, 23% already up. Ultimate at the ready. This is pretty hard to push into for California girls.
Yeah, it's the ult economy is not looking good for the California girls. They're not anywhere close to Blade. Admittedly, neither are the COWZA, but importantly, Scorpion has that grab, and they have Cole. That combination alone is really, really dangerous for the California girls. Playing into the Sombra is proving really difficult.
Yeah, no beat on the other side this time. It'll just have to be the lamp that mitigates. Here comes the grab. No grab in the opposite direction just yet as they burn through that. Of course, Alvin Slayer doesn't have grab. It's a lot of damage, but they're doing a good job here on the California girls to not lose too many players. But as I say that, what a messy fight. Everyone going down here. Wallace doing a lot of work, but he is going to go down at the end of it all. EMP, though, comes in over the top for the COWZA. They look to clean it up. Oh, no, just barely not getting that Kiriko kill. And through all of that, California girls using no ultis and still win the team fight.
Somehow. They should not have won that fight, but now they're looking in a perfect situation. They're going to have 5 ults. They're going into a team that has 1 ult, and they could snowball this into a victory if they play it right, and that's a perfect start.
Yeah, you'd expect them to go for it.
That pick is all they needed. They can now not win this fight without using an ult, and they already have so many.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to move forward here. He might want to grab just to secure this team fight. Yeah, there we go. Can they get the damage around the corner? You betcha. It's a lot of healing, though, but yeah, eventually they'll burn through it, and they'll get those picks. Just need to clean up Genji in the background. Sorry, Knoppies in the background. And that's going to be that. So, a nice team fight there. Perhaps a bit on the expensive side, though.
Perhaps. They did use 3 ults, and they used 2 ults which effectively perform the same job. Window and High Noon, not used together if possible.
Yeah.
Now they only really have the Blade and the Kiriko ult. Might still get a lot of value, but now we're seeing the COWZA's ults coming online on their side.
Well, here is the Blade and the Kiriko ult, and the other one is getting way more value as Ergoslavik picks up 4. Just a matter, make that 5, a full 5k with the Dragon Blade. Sharp play from Ergoslavik and the COWZA.
Again, that was the worst case scenario for California girls. They invested those ults and they didn't come up top. And they do have still a little bit of time, maybe a fight and a half. But with only the Cole and maybe the Grav, although he will have the Grav, this is looking dangerous.
So be careful. There is the grab. That's a huge grab. Catches pretty much everyone. The lamp, though, perfectly timed. Not enough damage going through to get the kills. And in fact, once again, the team that used the grab is getting ripped apart here. BTS fan has switched over onto the Hanzo now. Shimada only, this guy, apparently. But it gets the job done and flips the point back.
Yeah, it's strange that whichever team uses grab is losing the fight. So it should go the other way around. But we see it a little bit soft. As you say, we see the Hanzo, and now we see the Soldier 76. Bit more Thane heroes. They can look after themselves a bit better, or Soldier can at least. Engagement with the Cole into the window.
Very aggressive play. EMP over the top, and that is perfect. A lot of kills immediately. Of course, Scorpion with so much damage. Ergoslavic as well, pushing on through, getting all the kills. So the COWZA will flip the point and will secure the map. But very, very back and forth.
Very close so far. Very good Zarya play from Scorpion coming out. Very good DPS play from Ergo coming out. Which was a sharp 180 from the start we saw, where we saw both of those two players get picked off early and picked off late over and over again. But they turned it around very well, and here's that 5k we saw.
Oh, everybody. Like I said, sharp stuff from the Genji player. And this is going to be the COWZA. Maybe mention that fatigue, but seems like they need a bit of fatigue to perform. We'll have to wait and see if they can keep it up, though. And yeah, that was a fascinating matchup to see. It's interesting to me to see the different way teams are choosing to approach things. We started the day with exclusively D.Va versus D.Va, and slowly we started seeing other things mixed in. And now we're coming to Zarya versus Zarya, which feels like the antithesis of D.Va versus D.Va.
Yeah, it's odd, and I think Elven Slayer is struggling without the healing of that Moira. Because having a lot of healing on a Zarya allows you to play very aggressive, balancing your HP and using it as a resource. You don't have to use your bubbles so often. Whereas when you don't have the healing, all you have is the Lucio and the Kiriko, not that much burst healing. I feel like he's struggling to maintain that energy because he has to use bubbles to keep himself alive, and he can't use bubbles as freely as he'd like to. On the other hand, you've got Scorpion with the Moira, and he can walk forward. He can take that space very, very aggressively. And if anyone tries to push him, he can bubble for charge as opposed to Elven Slayer, who's having to bubble to stay alive. And those bubbles are not the same.
No, not at all. And it's interesting also to see that the Genji's not getting as much value sometimes as the teams would like. BTS fan Babs switching off there at the end onto the Hanzo, feeling like the Genji wasn't giving them the value that he needed.
Which is surprising because he is such a Genji player and he is renowned for his Genji, and he's been having great success all day on the Genji. So having him top off the Genji is surprising.
Especially when you compare it to the other side, where
exactly.
it's clearly having a good time on the Genji.
Yeah, seeing that on map 1 as well, like it sets a worrying trend for, perhaps for the California girls moving forward.
Yeah, it might. I'd be interested to see also, though, had that not been Necker-based loss, might he gone onto the Pharah instead? Because we saw with Rexu as well, he defaults to the game or to whomever, then the Pharah, and then the Hanzo. So the projectile DPS players tend to either do the Pharah or the Hanzo if the Pharah isn't good on that map.
And maybe the Pharah would be an answer, because we didn't see much hard hit scan. We saw a little bit of Soldier and Cassidy. But again, that's one hero playing into possibly two in the form of the Pharah and the Mercy. And like we said, we know there are plenty of competent Mercy players on both teams. We know there are plenty of competent Pharah players on both teams. So maybe the Pharmacy is the solution that the California girls will go to.
Maybe, but of course we do have Knoppy's Mr. Super CSGO, who in theory at least should be able to pressure them back on either the Castle or the Widowmaker. So I wonder how effective that could be, but we'll have to wait and see if that all plays out. We will be going now to New Queen Street, one of our push maps. The only push map we haven't seen today is Coliseum, which actually doesn't surprise me at all. Back to New Queen Street though, the most popular as we're seeing.
Yeah, the original and the first, and as you say, the most popular. It'll be interesting to see. We've seen this map played very one-sided today, and we've seen this map played very closely today.
Yeah.
So hopefully we have the latter. It will be interesting to see if they do if California Girls do stick to the Genji on with BTS Fan, or if they decide to switch things up, because so far the pressure of the Zarya and the Moira combined with that Genji has been working very effectively for COWZA.
Yes, it absolutely has. Yeah. Push ups, I'm always so interested to see how these teams will approach them, because when I play them they feel so hard and terrible, and everything is happening everywhere, and you spend 80% of your time running from spawn to your team, and then they die, and then you die, and then you run to them again, and it's just an endless cycle.
Sometimes it just feels like you're a plastic bag drifting through the wind, wanting to start again.
It's like we planned that. It's like I
don't know what
for you.
I don't know what you're suggesting. We are just so organic.
Yes, we absolutely are.
You could say that we're not robotic like someone else in this map. We're not going to see a Zarya. We're going to see the Wrecking Ball.
Interesting. Okay, Alvin Slayer deciding he doesn't want to take that duel. And honestly, Scorpion got the better of him on Mecha Base, to be sure, and seems to be getting the better of him in general this series. But I have to wait and see if it's just for this map, or whether that's something they actually think is a good response. And, well, if with the sample size of 1, you'd have to say it's the best pick in the game.
Oh, Lucio with a casual 4K. Nice. That was an exceptionally well-coordinated fight, which is surprising for a team that's been formed today. If they can continue to do that with the Wrecking Ball engagement, the Slam, the Genji Dash, and the Lucio engagement, they could have real success. But this is why Wrecking Ball comps can be strong, but they have to continue on with that coordination.
Yeah, and it's easier to do that on the rollout, where you know where the team is likely to be. And you can see he's hanging out around the side, and his team are absolutely getting eviscerated on the point here. So that first fight will go the way of the California Girls, but the second one, the COWZA have absolutely stamped the authority on New Queen Street here, and they're going to get some motion on the card.
Yeah, and we saw the Wrecking Ball comes out first fight, and we already see the response. Knoppy's immediately switches to the Sombra. He knows what he's about. This Wrecking Ball will get no love with Knoppy's in the team. It'll be interesting to see then if we maybe see Elvin swap back. But we're seeing pick off here. These are bad picks.
Yeah. Great work from Ergoslavic to track down and take down BTS Fan there. They hack onto the ball. That's a lot of damage coming through. Can they pick him off before he gets away? No, not just yet, but they are getting kills elsewhere on the map. The COWZA pick after pick, just getting exactly what they need to out of these team fights. Every time you look at the kill feed, they've gotten another kill, and they're about to close in on this first capture point. Just need to clean up one more play. Yeah, nice work.
COWZA take the lead. This is where push becomes an issue, where snowballs begin. When one team is getting picked and getting picked late and getting picked early, and the other team can never really take a fight. We're going to see this EMP now, and if they can get a lot of value out of it, this could be game over here.
Good Wild B as they get the EMP. No, it's going to be BTS Fan who gets the first kill here, gets the second as well. So EMP to lose the fight. A very unusual set of circumstances here, and Babs is going to kill after kill here, one at a time, picking them off. Damien will get that, and they'll come back and clean up Wallace, who pops the coalescence. BTS Fan himself shaken to his core.
I hope Wallace is swapping, because that was not a good ultimate. He's not. That was a really
He just wanted to 1v5, sure he could do it.
That was a really, really good fight from California Girls. They made COWZA use their EMP, and then they still won. And now they're coming in with their blade, and now we're seeing the opposite. BTS Fan gets the pick on Ergo. Yeah,
he's found a rhythm here on Queen Street, New Queen Street. Ooh, nice Kitsune rush behind BTS Fan here. Allows him to go forward and get the picks he needs to on the front line. That's 2. Can he find any more? Does he need to? He will end up dropping, but that's okay. His team has a lot of space to push forward here. Can they get this kill on Zarya? That could be huge if they can get it, but no, not able to just yet. And Restia's son might pay for it. He does, but they have secured the point now.
Yeah, and now we have the checkpoint. The robot will sit there and scratch its butt, and this will give time for the defenders to push back. But wisely, California Girls are backing up. They know they're down. They can't take that fight. That's a really, really good decision. They're going to take a fight when they have advantage.
Yeah, we're seeing incredible coordinated play here from the California Girls. We saw their rollout at the beginning and how swift and effective that was, and we see again they could have stayed there and try and grind out a crappy fight, but Instead, they back up and look at the result. They're getting 2 picks now. Can they clean up anything else here? They won't need to. BTS fan, Babs is playing so well here on New Queen Street, working well with his team to get pick-off after pick-off, just hand movements here, throwing gang signs at Wallace, trying to get the kill, but eventually he does go down.
Yeah, we saw they cut the checkpoint. That was the important part, and then they backed up, wait for the 5v5, and they took their fight so well, and they were rewarded for that. We are going to see a heavy ult fight now, but now California Girls move past the checkpoint and really put pressure on the COWZA.
And now building a lead as well. Scorpion has the Graviton Surge here, trying to take down... Oh, Alvin Slayer with a double slam. Not quite the Diva remake kills, but, you know, it feels the same in many ways as he looks to clean up another one here. Kiriko on the front line. Can they kill the Zarya? Surely they can. They do just that. BTS fan getting aggressive further. It's just kill after kill here for the California Girls. And we can see now why they've got such a strong standing here in the Kiriko Cup.
Yeah, I think the difference from what we saw earlier was perhaps Knoppies is too tunnel visioned on dealing with Elven Slayer on the Wrecking Ball. And this isn't Overwatch 1 Sombra where the one hack means death for the Wrecking Ball. Oh, that's a bad pick.
Oh, that is, but Minefield in the backline now to get a counter pick onto the enemy Kiriko, so they trade that out. DPS is dropping. The Graviton Surge should be the exclamation point on this team fight, and it will be. They now get to move the point forward again.
Yeah, we see the difficulty of push now. That was a really, I want to say, good fight for, even though they lost, for the California Girls. They took that fight with one ultimate, which is, in all things, an expendable ultimate in the form of mines, and they still have their Pulse Bomb, they have their Blade, they have their Beat, and they have their Kitsune Rush, and they're in the driving seat. They have to put, the enemy have to push it so far, and here we're seeing.
Yeah, they do. BTS fan here with his ultimate, though. That's Hobo Pocket down. Coalescence is actually bad here. Leaves you open to being killed. Oh, Pulse Bomb shuts down Ergoslavic as well. And it seems like one of those games where whatever you do on the side of the COWZA, nothing goes right.
Yeah, this is push. This is why some people do not like the game mode, because you have to win these multiple fights over and over again, and it's difficult. We're seeing the swap. Knoppies has given up on the Sombra and goes to the Echo. That's interesting because there is no hard counter to the Echo in the sky.
Ooh. Though it might not matter if his teammate capitulates around him here. Babs is so good on this Genji and New Queen Street right now. Jumping through, getting pick after pick is a reliable way to secure kills on heroes, and look, just cleaning them up perfectly. This team is working like a well-oiled machine right now. The California Girls are undeniable, Fluffy.
Yeah, I mean, I stand by what I said, where maybe Babs just needed to wake up a bit. He's performed really well this map.
Into the day.
Exactly. I mean, maybe map 1 just isn't for Babs.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I believe that might have been the first map they've lost all tournament, but that's a stat that needs backing up here. They're cleaning up so effectively here. Alvin Slayer now finding value on the Wrecking Ball. I had my doubts, but they were misplaced. The California Girls, the first team to finish a push map that we've seen so far.
Yeah, that is true. That is the first team that's completed a push map. That was a one-sided map, which was interesting because the previous map was also one-sided. So we've seen 2 one-sided maps from the opposing teams. And I don't know, maybe the Wrecking Ball is the answer. Maybe the Sombra isn't the solution to deal with the Wrecking Ball, because the coordination of aggression that we've seen from the California Girls was much better this map than we saw in the last map.
Yeah, like I said, they look like a well-oiled machine. You mentioned the rollout they did at the beginning, and then backing off when they lost 2 up front. That was some cerebral stuff. I mean, it's relatively basic competitive Overwatch stuff, but we're not seeing a lot of teams show that kind of wherewithal in the Kiriko Cup so far. So maybe it's a case of 5 games into the Kiriko Cup, you start to learn these kinds of things. But I imagine it's also got to do with the fact that this team is so equally balanced skill-wise.
Yeah, it is. I think we mentioned it earlier in the day, but teams that are closer together often will perform better than teams that have peaks and troughs. Yeah. And this is one of those teams. Although COWZA is, I'd say, a similar team in that they are another team that doesn't have those peaks and troughs, and they have similar ranked players, and we're seeing a very even matchup. Admittedly, the maps were one-sided, but I mean, one-sided in different ways. My question moving forward is, will we see an adjustment from COWZA? California Girls played this most recent map very well, dominated it, Cowsa played the first map very well, dominated. Are we going to see an adjustment? Because is it the map that's working better for Cowsa, or is it the composition? Because they seem to really be struggling with that aggression from the Wrecking Ball, Lucio, and the Genji.
It felt to me a lot like though they were a little bit undisciplined, the Cowsa, and that was a big part of their downfall. It felt like a lot of their time Babs was finding those picks and, you know, people out of position. A couple of times ago Slavic dropped early. So yeah, that's kind of it might not need to change too much on the side of the Cowsa. Just clean up a little bit and focused on some of the more important targets. But again, I looking at Alvin Slayer's Wrecking Ball, that feels like a really solid pick here. Zarya kind of doesn't love playing against Wrecking Ball because she can't really kill him. No,
that's Wrecking Ball's... One of Wrecking Ball's strengths is that he is so survivable. He can do whatever he wants. He is very independent. The downside to him is that he doesn't offer the same value as he did in Overwatch 1. In Overwatch 1, he was a very strong hero. In Overwatch 2, not so much. Not so much because he isn't strong, because there are stronger heroes in the tank lineup. But like you say, maybe the issues aren't as big as we're making them out to be. Maybe it's just that they need to land shots. They need to focus the same target. Maybe it's just those coordination issues. You could say they're just not landing.
This guy, it's a punishment. I'm a well-documented pun hater.
I feel like I'm not welcome here.
I know you getting fans here in the chat, so I'm not the only person you need to impress, or even you don't need to impress me at all. But yeah, it is going to be King's Row here, so Midtown.
An old favorite.
Exactly, Midtown, King's Row have been the two popular. Ended with a fucking Katy Perry plan.
Sweet Summer Child. I have many prepared. No, I didn't prepare for this. They're all off the top of my head.
Oh, you're just that big of a Katy Perry fan.
I mean, let's be honest. Like, say what you want, Katy Perry makes some bangers.
Okay.
I don't feel like you're sharing the Katy Perry love.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
Okay. King's Row.
Oh yes, the Knoppies Widowmaker. This is a sense.
Against the Babs Widowmaker?
Oh no, that's terrible. Well, Babs is on attack, so
true.
He's got options. But I'm excited to see what Knoppies can do, because just the little bit we saw in Busan, I was impressed with the one shot we did catch.
Yeah, and this first point, particularly for the attacking Widowmaker, can be very strong. Excuse me. It can force the the defending team to really play super defensively, because you have to respect the Widowmaker sightline. It doesn't matter how good the Widowmaker is. They could be top 500 or bronze. You have to always respect the Widowmaker sightline.
There's always the chance they could slap a terrible, amazing shot down on you.
Here we see Babs.
Yeah. Just waiting it out now. I think they know he's on the Widow, but he's waiting it out. Oh, he takes the shot. Doesn't find it. But they are dueling it out here. But Knoppies recognizes it's not worth his time to try and take that fight, because if he goes down, it's way worse. And if he kills Babs, it will respawn much quicker. So, good smart play here, Knoppies. Having to back up here, looking for targets. Can't really find a lot of highly mobile heroes here on the opposing team. So he might struggle to find good targets to kill, but on the other hand, no Reinhardt or anything he needs to work around as well. So BTS fan here getting aggressive. Slavic will open the bank here in this game, and Wallace will kill BTS fan as well. So a good start here from our attacking teams. Now they just need to clean up the remaining players. Sorry, our defending team.
Yeah, I think what we might do, we might see a swap from Knoppies. Maybe not now, as he didn't die, but he doesn't have that many targets, and he's going to have the issue that he had before on Busan. A Genji, a Tracer, a Wrecking Ball, and a Lucio all in his face, all wanting to pressure.
Minefield comes in, gets the double. BTS fan picks up the third, so all of a sudden, blink and you'll miss it. The whole of the cows are taken out in one swift movement here. Just need to get rid of this last guy, and there we go. Wallace will hit the deck. So the California girls found a rhythm there and executed effectively once again.
Yeah, it was really well played. Surprisingly few ultimates in the game so far. There we do see the Knoppy swap off of Widowmaker onto the Sombra, and it already pays dividends.
Yeah, it gets the hack onto BTS fan and takes him out here. That's going to allow them not to get pushed back too much. So it is critical. They can now hold in this choke.
Yeah, this choke is massive. It's there is a lot of cover for the defending team. They have multiple corners to work with, and the stream has frozen for me.
For me as well. Hopefully not for you guys at home. Question mark? Is Peach dead?
Are we pausing?
No, I think we... Okay, yeah, we can do a TP quickly.
ZA streams. NA stream.
Oh. Single digit frames, the best. Ah, Peach. Yeah. Sorry,
yeah,
we're just sorting out some technical difficulties here, gents.
Difficulties.
Hopefully, I think the stream has been okay. I think it's just an issue on our end. Yeah, okay, it's just an issue on our end. So we'll get that sorted out ASAP. In game though, all of a sudden we can see Wallace has picked up a double, both supports. So that's that push pretty much ended, unfortunately for California girls.
Hopefully the issues should be resolved now. Unfortunately, I the last fight. I wasn't exactly sure what happened on.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see here. We are jumping back in now, ladies and gentlemen. King's Row.
We're gonna have ult economy wise. It's looking to be more in the favor of the California girls. They have 5 ults coming online, but that's and a pick. Oh, this is looking at a great position for California girls.
Yeah, they're going to look to push forward now. Zari dropping low, but they just bypass him entirely. They're trying to get into the backline here. Wallace dropping low. Graviton Surge comes in. They should be able to clean up here. Off the back of that, they get one. Only Wallace going down, but that's a lot of healing out of the fight now. Just the Kiriko left as Alvin Slayer looks to get aggressive. BTS fan, though, cleaning up with his ultimate. Will come to point now. Not able to catch the Sombra, but someone tracks him down. Alvin Slayer does, and now they can get moving again. We'll see how aggressive they choose to get here on the attack.
Yeah, they still do have ults. I mean, that was an expensive fight. They do only have the minefield, which can get value, but isn't the best. And on the other side, COWZA have their Kiriko Kutsune Rush, they have their Blade, and they have their EMP. So the Elmonte's ult can be nullified entirely by EMP.
Yeah.
But coordinated dive will always beat late ults.
Here he goes, he gets hacked up. Did it get spent? Yes, it did. No mines coming out. He's backed up, constipated when it comes to mines right now, unfortunately. A hamster under pressure, hacked up, taken down, and the Sombra coming in clutch there. Knoppies bringing it home for his team.
Oh, and we see some tactical squats from Knoppies after a really good play, a really good hack.
You take one. Take a bow.
Yeah. And we're going to see a swap. No more Wrecking Ball, we're going to see a Sigma. That's interesting because if the COWZA decide to, they can play their comp really aggressively. They can just press W and force the Zarya into the Sigma's face. They have the sustain to be able to do that. And the high charge Zarya into the Sigma will be a difficulty. They're good at engaging with their EMP.
Oh yeah, there goes over the top. Propaganda is useless, or so Sombra says, as they look to clean things up here, and they'll do that very effectively. BTS fan does track down and take down Knoppies, but even a zero charge Zarya can deal with an Ana very effectively.
Yeah, that was a really good fight. As California girls were about to engage, COWZA just used their EMP and used nothing else, and that is the strength of EMP. You can win a fight with just EMP, even in its current form.
Yeah.
It does also give time for Scorpion to build his Grav, which they needed, because that's going to be the big ult. The Grav and the Coalescence probably together. On the other hand, Pulse Bomb could be big if it finds value, but the ult economy is looking pretty bare for both teams, other than this Grav.
Yeah, Apricornicus is looking for the Pulse Bomb, but he's been spotted out by Elgoslavic. Looking for a target here, not choose to use it as they're kind of forced back by the Coalescence. No kills for either team just yet, but look how much damage is going through. What is Wallace doing? I'm the DPS now, he says, and so far doing a good job. He will end up going down, but he may just have done enough to win this one for his team because his other support will be the Kiriko.
Wallace giving everyone the Comp Moira experience. Coalescing into the backline, using your Fade to engage, and then damage orbing a squishy. And dying.
Oh, here comes
Big
the
flux.
Sigma ultimate over the top here. Alvin Slayer finds one, finds a second, a third picked up by BTS Fan. All of a sudden, blink and you miss it once again. That's something this team does a lot, is they'll suddenly get a flurry of kills to close out a team fight. And it's been very effective for them so far. Perhaps needs to be careful here not to go down too aggressively as the cart does move forward. But once again, good work from the California girls.
Yeah, but we're going to last fight potentially. If the COWZA win this fight, that's it. The 24 seconds on the clock, they're not winning this. And they have the ults to win this. And that's a big grab.
There's the grab. Here comes the ulti over the top. Ergoslavic picks up a couple here. He does go through. Well, we clicked off him there and I thought he died. No, he did die. BDS Fan doing so much work. Team kill. Oh my goodness. That looked like such a good fight for the COWZA, but the Dragon Blade just too strong. Nano Blade.
The tale of two blades, both really good, but one just getting the better. That was a really well played fight. But like the individual heroics of Babs won that for the team, and that was really important because if he hadn't done that, that was it, game over. Swap sides. We did see the swap to Soldier, might have been to contest, and there gets value.
Tracking down Ergoslavic once again, getting picked off on the front lines there, extending just a tiny bit, and now you can see how the California girls take advantage of that. Oh, napping time. Okay, works his way out of there. Team. Okay, eventually they get that kill. Who is it? Oh, of course it's Babs, just picking up kill after kill here, and they're kind of looking to just gum up the entry doors here. Will they get out in time? No ultimates to speak of. No, they've got the EMP on the side of the COWZA, so that might be exactly what they need to crack open the defense. And here it comes over the top. It's a lot of damage. Immediate follow-up. Perfect play from the COWZA to stop the push. 30 seconds left, and just what they needed.
That was they really needed. The one worry though is they didn't finish at an awkward time because the California girls died together, which means they're going to come back together, and they probably will be able to touch. They have people who can touch, and COWZA used a lot of ults in that fight. Probably didn't need to use their Kitsune rush, and we're seeing them pay for it here.
Hits 4. This could be huge. A lot of damage coming through. Hobo Parker taking down. Sights to follow up from miles away. Has to legs on up to the front line, but that'll get it done. Alvin Slayer putting the Sigma to good work.
They finished with time.
Oh, no, 0.3 of a second.
That is huge.
If you're not, it sounds crazy, but it is actually used if you're not familiar. Because what that means is they cannot be forced into an only draw position.
Yeah, that was massive. The fact that they finished with time cannot be overstated. And that's sort of COWZA, you know. They bit themselves. They took that really expensive fight, and yes, they won, but they won it just I think too well in a way. They killed the opponents together, and that meant the California girls could come back with their own ults and clean them. And that's exactly what happened. And they finished with time, and that is huge. Yeah, I can't overstate how big that is.
It might not end up being relevant, but if it is relevant, boy, will that be super relevant. California girls looking pretty strong on that attack, but very even match so far. I mean, 0.3 on the clock. That's a sign that things are pretty close.
So we're going to see, just like we saw on the previous round, we're going to see Knoppy's opening with the Widowmaker. Do you want to know a fun bit of trivia about Widowmaker?
Yes, please.
So Widowmaker's gun is called the Widow's Kiss. So you could say that she kissed a girl and liked it.
5, 4, 3, 2.
I feel like your silence tells the story.
Oh my god, this guy. This damn guy. So anyways, here on Planet
You tried
Earth,
to fit
the
that
rest
into
of
a
us
cast.
live. No, that's what I've got you for.
Okay.
They are pushing forward here. Alvin is on the Sigma again, so he's really feeling its value. Knoppy's on the Widowmaker. Now he's got a shield to deal with, so that makes life a little bit harder. Or BTS Fan getting left in the lurch there. The Sigma shield retracted, and so was BTS Fan's life as Knoppy's looking for an angle here, not finding the targets he needs to, but meanwhile the team is capping the point, so be pretty happy with the state of affairs right now. Scorpion gets aggressive, 100 charge, so much damage, but Ergoslavic once again drops early. Can they get back on the point? Your Sigma's so slow. If he just put his feet in the ground, he might be able to touch the point, but no, somebody else does instead. So much damage coming through on the side of California girls, and they picking off players one by one, and can't really cut it closer than that, can you, Fluffy?
No, but that was actually really well played. It is okay to give up ticks on the point and then recontest and take that fight when you're advantage. The COWZA engaged, used a lot of utility, got a lot of space with it, and California Girls said that's fine. We're going to back up, let you use your utility, and then we come in with our own. And that's exactly what happened, and they did get success.
Yeah, definitely so. Now they have to do it all over again here on the side of the COWZA. Find picks, find kills, or not. Maybe just force them off the point and win that way. But no, the California Girls are in control. Gravitic Flux pop now, looking for targets, not finding anything. There we go. Finds two in the back, lifts him up. That'll be 2 kills from BTS Fan and Alvin Slayer. And once again, the California Girls are too good.
Yeah, they now, after taking that fight, backing up, giving up 2 ticks, they now have their big ults coming online. They've got their blade, they've got their grav. So sorry, the COWZA have their grav. So now we might see a bit of adjustment having to be made, because previously they took dry fights and they won them, whereas now it's going to be an ult fight that they're winning. But we are going to see the swap onto the Cassidy.
Oh, very early grab here, looking to get follow-up. A big anti-heal onto the Genji. He might have to back out here. He does end up going down very quickly. The California... BTS Fan? Okay.
Oh, we have a pause.
Okay. Yeah, looked like Babs was not in the game anymore. Babs is one of those players who has terrible internet all the time, right? He's playing on a Starlink orbiting around Mars. Oh, okay, maybe not.
The game has continued. Was Babs the host?
Oh, shit.
I think Babs was the host.
Oh, maybe.
You know, we haven't had a situation like this yet today, so we needed this. You know, for a proper COWZA stream, a South African stream, we had to have some technical difficulties. Yeah,
that's kind of unfortunate. Babs is lobby leader, and it switches, and if you're not paying attention, you might not realize that you are now the party leader, and you have to press a 8-button combo to pause the game.
Yeah, although they did change it, that you just have to press escape and there's a thing on press escape in the menu that says pause, which is a very nice change.
That is a nice change, actually.
Yeah. You don't have to do a million buttons and press Control Shift equals, I think it was.
Yes, I think that is what it was. And so many times when I was playing, you know, in the early 70s, people would be like, how do I pause? I don't know how to pause. And everyone's like, I can't remember. I know if I was doing it, I would be able to do it, but I couldn't tell you what the keys are. But that is unfortunate. They lost quite a lot there. Babs popped his blade and ended up going down. So, that's kind of awkward because it's also Restio-san's ult he committed.
Yeah, it's difficult because obviously now when he reconnects, he's not going to have his blade.
Yeah, and he's not going to be there either.
No, but it has been a good hold from the California Girls so far, and it isn't the worst case scenario. They did fully finish the map. This has been an expensive and long hold by the California Girls, drawing ults out of COWZA. It remains to be seen if they can. I think at this point, California Girls know they're going to lose this fight. All they do is try just bait out more ults. Just die on point. Bring as much time down and just try to bait out that Coalescence and that Kiriko, that Kitsune rush.
They could, in theory, also just pop the Kitsune rush and the attack fire. But no, okay, it's like 1 second away from being capped. So not going to be able to do anything else here. Hopefully they can get set up here in the chokehold on the side of California Girls, but looks like Wallace doesn't want to let that happen. He's going forward with the Coalescence. But what is that? Measured play from Wallace, say it ain't so. As on the high ground, Apricornicus finds Slavic. And he get out of here? Yes, he can. Going to rejoin the team, and they will hold in the choke here, Fluffy.
This is the part of me that despises Moira's. I was saying try bait out that Coalescence. I guess Wallace did that for them.
That's how you bait out a Coalescence, you just exist on the map.
They're backing up now, waiting to take a fight in when they have advantage. And here we're seeing
Kitsune Pack Visor committed here, looks to get aggressive there. Finds 1 pick, shockingly. Looked like he was doing so much damage, and now he's isolated himself. He gets taken down, punched in the midsection by Knoppis, and now they can look to get aggressive here on the side of the COWZA. A little bit under pressure here. The Sigma will pop his Gravitic Flux here. Can he find any kills? He'll kill Knoppis. Can he kill anyone else? Not right now, but Slavic is picking up his teammates in the background. So Alvin Slayer, a bit of an overcommitment, I think, with the Gravitic Flux there.
But not the worst that they baited out ults. So that being said, they all came up to their grav. That was maybe a big mistake. I'm trying to silver line it, but there's nothing to be said. Their COWZA now have 5 ultimates on the board.
Yeah, pretty much.
And honestly, a grab here could seal this point.
Yeah, they're right on the front here, and they get the grab down. Just need to not get it reflected. Don't even need it. Did it get reflected? No.
It did.
Okay.
No, they can't.
And they nanobladed as well. Oh no. Well, they nanoed the Genji at least, so they were expecting to get in there, but they're not able to do so.
Silver lining, they did actually win the fight, but they gave up the cap, which was big. They will drag some time out, and they will have this nice position. They will have corner to play with. They will have cover to play with, but it's not ideal. That was expensive. They baited our ults, but it was not what you want when you're on defense.
Yeah, absolutely not. Now they have to defend the corner here. Shield popped for Sigma. Now they get aggressive here with the Kitsune and the Blade, and that's what we're talking about. A lot of kills here for Babs. Great coordination with the team. They've got a long defense ahead of them. A lot more ultis combos needed like that, but that's a good way to set things off.
Yeah, they needed that. They needed that. A cheap fight, relatively speaking, and an important fight because we can't forget there are 3 minutes on the clock. They have to wind down. It's important that California Girls, if they do let COWZA full cap, they let them cap with under a minute. They don't want to give the COWZA more time if they let them cap. So they have to make sure these fights are long, drawn out, and that, importantly, they're winning those long, drawn out fights.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, here comes the Kitsune now from the COWZA. Look to push forward here. Dragon Bait at the ready, going forward. This could be a big one. First one finds nothing. Now he's having to block the attack visor, but the team is doing work in the background. He gets the kill onto Cornicus's soldier. And that's going to allow them to keep the cart moving forward. So that 0.3 seconds, Fluffy, might end up being critical if they get a quick cap now.
It might be, because it's looking like COWZA are going to finish with more than a minute. And that 0.3 seconds coming back to bite them. We're seeing a swap onto the Hanzo, which could be interesting. Big flux.
Big flux over the top here, slams down Hobo Parker, finds that kill. BTS fan secures a kill onto Wallace as well, probably in his own backline, if I know anything about Wallace here. And that's going to be a nice cleanup. So 1:43 on the clock, we're edging ever close to that 1 minute mark, where that 0.3 will not have been relevant.
Yeah, that was a massive fight and a really good fight for California Girls. We're going to see the Apricornicus swap from Tracer. I think that was a stall pick. He's going on to the Echo now. Echo could be a very good pick because he can control high ground quite easily, and there also isn't a clear counter to him on the side of the COWZA. That being said, it is a closed map, which means he can't just fly away from people that easily.
Yeah,
good aggressive take here.
Yeah, Echo kind of runs into the same problem. Oh, a nice anti-heal, a nice block of the grab. That could have been much worse potentially. He will end up going down. Someone needs to clean up Scorpion, and yeah, it will be Apricornicus who's doing just that. But it looks like the COWZA have got the better of the stray, but no, Apricornicus is getting kills everywhere he can. And look at that, a third kill. The Echo, well, we weren't sure about it. We didn't hate it, but you can definitely see the advantage of it now.
Yeah, Echo does so much damage. Not the strongest hero in Overwatch 2 at the moment, but still undeniably a strong hero. They're just the sheer damage output that Echo does. It can't be understated. We are going to see the 2 blades coming online. Babs is going to have his blade a bit earlier, but this could be his tail, like we saw before, a tail of 2 blades. And it might, at the end of the day, come down to swish who can get the better blade.
Oh, well, we'll see here. So far, so good for Babs, unfortunately. Can find too much else, and Knoppis with the headshot gets rid of that pesky Genji. Dragon Strike now through towards the back line. The COWZA pushing forward. Apricornicus? Okay, finally someone tracks him down, gets that kill, but you're gonna have to come out and contest here. A little bit of time, Cart's a little bit far back, so won't be too much of a difficult recontest here. They get in now, but the Dragon Blade in the back line there finds 2. It's just a matter of cleanup now. The Kiriko on the point just needs to get taken down, will get taken down. Apricornicus back in on the Echo will be taken down as well, and now you just have to clean up this horrible ball on the point, swinging around the pendulum. There's a Katy Perry pun in there. Surely there must be somewhere, but that doesn't matter right now. Scorpion looks to clean them up as they come back in, but this is a pretty good stall here. We know that one single pick, and that could be huge. The minefield over the top here, forcing it back, overtime ticking down. Oh, just barely they get back in time, but look at that, kills coming through. The California Girls may just end up winning this with the strong recon. There's a 3rd kill, 1 left on the point. Alvin Slayer, the man of the hour, secures King's Row for the California Girls.
That was very well played. They really, really good stall. In the end, the 0.3 seconds didn't matter, but that was really, really good stall and really, really good ult from Elven Slayer. And I think it's going to be player of the game.
Yeah,
I think,
fair enough. It is literally the play that won them the game.
I think a big thing that can't be understated is the Genji battle we saw in this map. While the teams weren't playing at all times, when we were seeing Genjis, both Genjis were getting so much value. They were sort of negating each other. We saw that one blade where Ergo goes and gets a 3k, but then Bab gets a 4k, and we saw that multiple times. It feels like Babs is now wide awake. He was sleeping earlier, but
yeah, he's been stellar on the Genji. You know, he spent some time in Hanzo jail. It didn't really feel that strong, and whatever was countering him on mecha base, he's seeing something else now. And I wonder if it's got more now to do with what Elven Slayer is able to do on his heroes than necessarily what Babs' own prowess on the Genji, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, it feels like Elven Slayer has figured out how he wants to play this. They tried the Zarya, it didn't work. They tried the Wrecking Ball, it didn't work. They tried the Wrecking Ball in a different kind of setup, and it did work.
Yeah.
The Sigma also on King's Row we saw had a lot of success. I feel like COWZA could abuse that Sigma, but they're not. If the Sigma comes out again, they need to play more aggressive. They need to push through the Sigma and really force him to either use his shift ability or take multiple angles and force that shield to be irrelevant.
Yeah, they do, and I wonder if obviously the comp they had could absolutely work, but I wonder if we're seeing now the weakness of Scorpion not having quite as deep a hero pool. Maybe the Zarya isn't the catch-all solution that they're treating it as, and switching on to a Ryan Lucio, something along those lines, might have been quite valuable. But
the Zarya is strong though. He is playing the Zarya well. I just feel like they're not coordinating.
Something's not working. Yeah.
Exactly.
Something's not working. But again, there were a couple of times where I saw Ergoslavic getting picked off on the front lines in times where Babs seems to have that happen way less frequently. The number of times I've seen Babs be the one getting the pick where Ergoslavic is getting picked is been noticeable to me.
Yeah, it is noticeable, but it also is Ergoslavic was playing into the Echo, and it kind of is his job to deal with that Echo, especially on that third point where the Genji is the only one who can really take that high ground and deal with that Echo. So I feel, yes, I do think you're correct. Ergo was getting picked a bit more often, but his job is also a little bit different to what Babs, whereas Babs is just has people in front of him getting slammed by a Wrecking Ball and he can dash through. Whereas Ergo has to kind of make that space himself. He has the Zarya to give him bubbles, but he doesn't have that tank to engage. He has to be the one engaging, which makes his job awkward.
Yeah, I get what you're saying for sure. We are coming now to Circuit Royale. We saw this a little bit earlier today. It was a really fun map, that one, actually. And, you know, talking about Elven Slayer just reminds me a little bit of how we were seeing Defect in their first series of the day, where kind of the way Rexu was playing was enabling Elven Slayer and vice versa. Was enabling Defect and vice versa, you know, not losing your tank right at the start allowed Rexu to play with a lot more prowess. So fascinating how the roles all interact with each other. And
yeah, it's true. We also saw Defect finding his feet and figuring out what tanks were working, and we saw that similar with Elven Slayer. Elven Slayer was struggling with the Zarya and how the team wanted to set up their team, but then he found success on the Wrecking Ball. And now we're going to see him, a known Sigma player, playing Sigma on Sigma's map. So this is really where the Sigma could really come in clutch.
And we saw what Blur was able to do on the Sigma on this map as well. So this could be quite a strong position for the California girls now as they come forward. BTS fan once again going to open up on the Widowmaker here. Knopis is not on the Widowmaker, interestingly enough. He's going to try and get the hack. Oh my god!
Close.
The two snipers absolutely execute Knopis there. No chance even to translocate out of there. And now they're pushing forward. Ergoslavic dropping as well. BTS fan finds that shot. So the DPS just finding every pick they need to here.
Yeah, it's we already have seen the swap. Knoppy's getting off the Sombra and onto the Widowmaker. This is Widowmaker's map. And
Oh, there we go. Immediately he hits pay dirt. They're taking down the one is counter. And can he find anything more? Has he even done enough here? This is going to allow the Cowsa to push forward onto the cart and restabilize here what was a very difficult position. Now we're going to rotate around here, try and find more targets, but immediately you can see the way California Girls have to respond. They have to find natural cover here and be careful because an errant headshot from Knoppy's could spell the end of the team fight.
We're going to see a Widowmaker head-to-head, and this is going to be really interesting because Knoppy's has... Oh, there we go. Knoppy's has a Sigma Shield to contend with, but also he has the advantage of natural cover and the high ground. So it'll be interesting to see which... And there's another pick.
Yeah, Knoppy's man finding the headshot, but does get tracked down by Damien with a headshot of his own. But here comes the Gravitic Flux now. That's going to be a couple of kills as well. Zarya super low HP, so the cart will keep pushing forward here, around the corner, onto the point.
Babs has been landing some good shots on the Widowmaker. He's getting the picks, which is important. It's also very important that these Widowmakers stay alive. You were saying earlier, is he going to do enough?
Oh my god, he's too good, this guy.
As long as Widowmaker is alive, occupying a sightline, Widowmaker is doing her job.
Yeah.
Widowmaker is such a hero you have to respect. Just the Widowmaker occupying the sightline forces the enemy team back.
Yeah, we can see that here, how they're struggling to take space here on the side of the California Girls as Knoppy exerts himself on proceedings, but BTS fan now on the Hanzo, contributing back in that direction, and in spite of Knoppy's prowess, the team is kind of getting steamrolled if he's not hitting every shot.
It does feel like that. It feels like it is on Knoppy's to land those shots, otherwise they're not winning the fight. And maybe we just need to see some more proactive ult usage because they have 4 ults now. The only ult they have used this game is the Widowmaker sites. They have lots of ults that they're holding on to, but they need to be proactive with them.
Yeah,
the team that ults first wins more often than not.
Yeah, Yugoslavic dropping early there again, just a little bit of an issue perhaps as BTS fan now pumping damage across the way here with the tree trunk arrows, almost at his own ulti, but taken down by Knoppy, who finds another. If he does hit the shots though, the team does win the team fight, so you know, you win some, you lose some with the Widowmaker.
Scorpion says, "Hear my roar," and gets a big grab.
Oh man.
Now we're going to be... This is the situation that California Girls wanted to avoid. They have to attack this entrenched high ground position.
Yeah.
Cover this high ground into a Widowmaker who is landing their shots. This is a bad situation for them.
Oh, he's too good, dude. BTS fan taking that. Why is he playing Reinhardt? Somebody explain that to me. We've been missing out on 3 years of Knoppy's Widowmaker, watching him feed relentlessly on the Reinhardt, and this is what we've been missing. I'm
really
for shame, Knoppy, for shame.
Hey, respect an honorable Reinhardt player.
No, not when you can do this on the Widowmaker. If I could play Widowmaker like this, I would never play anything else.
You say that when you have a Wrecking Ball Tracer and Genji attacking you.
Yeah, well, fair enough. But that's my team's fault. Isn't that how it works?
Sure, yeah. Big Flux coming out, and they already have a pick.
Oh, Big Flux coming out, as you say. Knoppy's dead. Whoops, rip team fight, I guess, as the man of the hour not able to contribute anymore to this team fight. California Girls, you know, we're putting the love on Knoppy's, but they've been doing a really good job of not getting picked off by him and then executing the team fight after that very effectively.
Yeah, we've seen Babs has given up entirely on the Widowmaker head-to-head. He's decided he's going to have more luck on the Hanzo, which is, if it's a hero that he's more comfortable on, it is also a long-range hero. Fair play. To be honest,
the
Hanzo
with the Sigma as well, right?
Yeah,
the Hanzo Sigma's his own too.
Yeah, this point might be worse for the Widowmaker than for the Hanzo, so it might also be a good swap for that. That being said, Quacha is landing these headshots.
Oh my god!
As I say that,
god, dude, what's happening? He's just shooting Sigma in the head over and over again. That pro dude has already got mental issues. Shots to the head like that can't be healthy, but what he is doing is buying space for his team here, and now they're getting picks. Wallace already taken down. Knoppy now will fall. Yugoslavic has his ulti, but on 15 HP, he's not likely to find any kills. He will round the corner here, maybe get away, but no, Babs tracks him down and says, I don't need to hit headshots, and I can just shoot you in the chest.
Yeah, we're getting to a situation now, like we saw on King's Row in our last map. We've got 2 and a half minutes left on the time bank, and ult economy is not looking good. Elven Slayer's Flux is probably the biggest ult coming up. Grav is also going to be online soon, but here's the Kiriko rush. If they can get value out of these ults, COWZA might, California Girls might finish this right here.
But again, Ergoslavic drops down early. Kitsune Rush almost finished, and you can just see how California Girls back up, let it expire. Now they move forward. Apricornicus, he gets the pick onto Knoppis this time, and now the Gravitic Flux, a huge grab in the back, but nobody's there to follow up. The Kitsune Rush now to push the team forward. California Kills getting pick after pick, and the way they're staggering this, the recontest might not even be possible in time here, although as I say that, Tracer in, but Apricornicus with his ultimate finds the shot and picks him off. It's just going to be pick up now. Apricornicus kill after kill with the railgun. Great play from the Sojourn player now as BTS fan makes his way back from the grave. They just see to keep cleaning up, and
got one.
Every kill matters though. Yeah, they got one, and BTS fan from spawn, the vacuum cleaner cleaning up the whole of the COWZA squad.
Oh, the dragon from spawn. Just when you think it's winnable for the stalling team, they get their pick, and then the spawn dragon comes and kills everyone.
Man. Oh man.
Still, it's not an impossible push for the COWZA. 1 minute 23. It's a good time bank, but we've seen better. We've seen worse. It will be interesting to see how when Knoppis is now on attack, if he decides to play that Widowmaker, how is he going to take this fight, especially into the what we expect to see, the Sigma, who is on high ground, who has defensive advantage.
Yeah, that's the nature of Widowmaker though, right? You find one pixel of space and that could be everything you need, you know? And Knoppis has been hitting really good shots if he chooses to run this Widowmaker again, but I also understand switching onto the Tracer here, trying to express yourself in a different way, because in spite of his strong play, it's not working for them.
No. He's finding picks, which is what the Widowmaker wants to do, but they're just... If he doesn't find 2 or 3, they're losing the fight.
Yeah.
So the Tracer is understandable. Tracer, another one of his heroes that he enjoys playing. He might struggle into the Hanzo and the Ana, but we'll see how he decides to play this. Looks like COWZA are going to go for that very, very aggressive rush with the Lucio, with the Monkey. California Girls might struggle into this. Sigma struggles when rushed down. So it kind of depends on how COWZA are going to play this.
That's very true here. So maybe they've identified that they're kind of working around Alvin Slave very effectively, so put him under pressure, or at least neutralize his role in the game. And here we go over the top, but Ergoslavic, once again, he's dead before the fight really even starts. Restio's son picks up his second, a perfect anti-heal, helping to secure those kills on the front line, and that's pretty much the end of their first team fight now. Oh, Tracer in the back line here, gets out of here, but they're picking up kill after kill after kill. Can he get the kill on him? He's trying to get the heals, just barely keeps Babs alive. Great work from the California girls. And
that was really well played. Just as COWZA are about to engage, they lose someone. They lose their Genji, and that's a lot of their damage gone. I think we'll see something similar happen again. We'll see them try to engage in a similar way, take this high ground from them, from the California girls, that is. They have to avoid getting picked. We do see the swap onto the Widowmaker.
Yeah, he feels like he needs to do something here, I think, Knoppis. He feels like if he can be on a comfort hero and he can find value, then his team can do the rest. And we'll have to wait and see. Nice hop there from Scorpion to get the kill onto Babs, and they keep going, get more. Looks like they can. Wallace, I guess this is a composition that in theory he should thrive on, allowing him to play the Lucio so aggressively, as Knoppis finding pick here after pick, misses that shot. Doesn't miss, well, it does miss the next one, but Ergoslavic has rejoined the fray and will secure that kill.
Yeah, I do like the Widowmaker pick, especially because when Widowmaker is a momentum hero, and just if you're feeling it, it works. And he seems to be feeling the Widowmaker, but also it puts pressure on Elven Slayer to keep his shield in a certain way.
Ooh, nano boosted Hanzo here. You don't see that every day, and you might just have discovered why as well. Knoppis finds the angle here. He's looking for the kill on Restio's son. He finds the shot. Can he find any more? No, Damien puts him down this time, and that might force them to push the California girls to push the COWZA back here. Can they get this kill? Hello, Alvin Slayer, want to hit one of these? Finally, Apricornicus puts his foot down and ends that, but it's a pretty tough push here for the COWZA so far.
Yeah, the nano Huns are not getting a value, except that he stalled. That was, I think, the big thing.
Fair enough, yeah.
They didn't cap. They didn't cap. So yes, he died, but he did manage to contest long enough for the rest of his team to come in and then contest, and they used ults and they won. Now we're going to see the infra site. Can he get any picks from it?
Oh, can he? Yes, he can, absolutely. Rest your son on the break. Taken down, but Apicornicus tracks him down and takes him out. Ergoslavic gets revenge for his fallen brethren, but can he get the kill here onto the Hanzo? No, he can't. BTS fan has him covered, and now they can push forward. Ultimate onto point. That's a lot of damage. Surprise doesn't get any kills with it, and just pushing forward now. Hanzo, though, Monkey, though, is still alive on the point. He has Primal as well, so he will pop that now. 60 seconds on the clock, but he might be able to clear the point just enough for the car to move that little bit forward. It needs to, but no, Brig on the point. Going to be keeping them pretty healthy on and around the cart, and clean up onto Scorpion should spell the end of that. So Storm being extremely effectively weathered here by the California girls.
Yeah, the Brig is really hard to dislodge, especially in those situations where you are down a player, and it's difficult. We're going to see the switch from Scorpion onto the Orisa. Interesting, again, I think it'll be to try and force down the Sigma, play aggressive, but the California girls are sitting there looking at their opponents and saying, this is how we do, and they're winning these fights.
You can see Knompis here on the Widowmaker looking for angles. The Sigma dropping low there, needs to be careful, but we'll use the shield to get some HP. But BTS fan will find the first pick. Ergoslavic again dropping early in these team fights, and that's going to allow the California girls to push forward without any response here. Hobo Pocket now forcing them back. BTS fan gets rid of Knompis. He says, I'm the better hit scan player. And that's going to be it. The California girls looking unstoppable.
California girls. Come on, you gotta sing it.
They're unstoppable.
No, that's not the line.
That's the lyric. That's the lyric, right?
No. Say it, Sun Phoenix.
They're undeniable.
There we go. They did. They played that really well. I really enjoyed the Sigma play. It was really good. Denying that the Widowmaker, even when the Widowmaker was getting value, it was also being pressured all the time. Yeah. Babs also played really well, even when he swapped to the Hanzo. I think he was losing the Widowmaker fight, but the Hanzo was a really good pick for him.
Yeah, I completely agree. If I had to give a player of the match, I think I'd give it to Babs. I think Alvin Slayer definitely pulled his weight after that first map. But Babs always seemed to be in the right place at the right time, and whether it be the Hanzo or the Genji, he was just getting so much value. I quite liked what we saw out of the COWZA though. I think there's a lot of potential there. I think Ergoslavic and Scorpion, if they get hooked up, they can do so much work together. It's just that occasionally Ergoslavic is getting picked off a bit earlier, and Scorpion may be a bit inflexible at times on Zarya. But I think we've seen a lot of players we've never seen before perform really well.
Yeah, at times tonight, the COWZA players were electric. They were getting value, they were getting their picks. But maybe, like we said earlier, Ergo dying a bit because he has to, in a way, be that space creator. Yeah. And having the tank to engage with the Genji might make things easier. Maybe if they try in future games, and tomorrow and next week, they try a Diva maybe, or they try a Monkey or something else to just help that Genji go in. Because putting all your eggs into Widowmaker basket can work, but it's a lot of pressure, and hope isn't the best strategy.
Yeah, we saw its weakness right there on Circuit Royale. Even if he's getting the picks, Knoppis, it doesn't mean you're going to win the team fight necessarily, because Widowmaker, sometimes it feels like outside of the picks she contributes literally nothing else. So it can feel a bit like, yeah, it's a bit awkward, but really impressed with both of these teams. Obviously the California girls, now that we can confirm that was the first map they lost, so if nothing else, the COWZA can leave with that little nugget, and if they do face the California girls a bit later on, that might end up being important.
Every team will play every team, so it'll be a good sense after tomorrow's matches how the table lines up, and COWZA, I suspect, will be on the upper end of that table.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. So that's going to be it for the night, guys. It's been a long old day of Overwatch, but I've had a ton of fun alongside you, Fluffy. What are your thoughts on the day of Overwatch so far?
I think it was a good day of Overwatch. I hope everyone had fun. We had fun here, I think. Despite the moans and the groans you heard from Sun Phoenix.
Punished.
Yes. But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. I think at 3 o'clock will be our first.
Yeah, there is a round of matches happening at 12, but unfortunately, the Peach today is getting his load shedded, so that means we will not have a stream up for that. But from 3, we'll have one at 3 and one at 6 again. So if you guys are looking excited, as Fluffy and I are, for more Overwatch 2, that's when you can join us. So if you've been joining us throughout the day, thanks so much, guys. It's been a pleasure. Fluffy, before we sign off, where can we find you on the internet?
Nowhere. I don't. It's okay. I don't need to have my socials shown out. Join
you
the
have a
Cowza.
Twitter, don't you?
Join the Cowza Discord server. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, that's always a good place to start. The COWZA Discord server. If you've been watching on Twitch, the VODs are on YouTube as well, and the streams are if you struggle to watch on Twitch, as many of us do. And of course, you can follow COWZA at Competitive Overwatch. Is that it?
ZA Overwatch.
At ZA Overwatch on Twitter. And there you can keep up with all the local Overwatch happenings, any tournaments happening. And if you'd like to get involved in stuff like the Kiriko Cup in the future, then that's where you want to be following us. My name is Sun Phoenix, of course, SUNPHEONYX on Twitter. You can follow me there where I tweet stuff. So that's going to be it, guys. And of course, the Peach today, we can't forget. The literal most critical guy here in the broadcasting booth, at the Peach _ZA, I think. Or just the Peach ZA. Yeah, okay. At the Peach ZA on Twitter. He streams on Twitch, theoretically, at the Peach ZA as well. He's got a YouTube channel. If you like the intro, that's on his YouTube channel, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, to today's intro. And yeah, so that's it, guys. If you follow us all of there, you can keep up with what's happening. Tomorrow, though, 3 o'clock, we start up all again, and so we'll see you guys then.
Bye.